Hey everyone, One Spit here with the Battle Report. So we go to Game 3 of Grail Quest 2016, my Beast Herds versus a Vermin Swarm army. If the lists seem unusual, please go look at the intro video for this tournament. The tournament's designed to encourage monsters, and so you tend to see more monsters and monster killers in it. This is a let's see, this is a deployment. It's a new deployment in the Ninth Age where you have to alternate. You can't plop your whole army down, and you can never put a model down within 18 inches of an opponent's model that's already been placed. So we went back and forth like this, and I beat him by 1, so I get a +1 to my first turn roll. So the list, he has a Catapult in the far right corner, and then up in front a Doomwheel and some giant rats, a big unit of storm vermin, full command. He's got an assassin in there with a potion of strength. Behind it, he's got a small bunker unit of plague monks, and with there he's got a really frail BSB. All he has is light armor, and he's got his Magister, which has been boosted to master level, has 3 spells, is the Book of Arcane Power, and is rocking the lore of thaumaturgy. On the hill, he's got a lightning cannon. To the left of that, he's got a big unit of 28 plague monks, full command, and with them he's got a Plague Prophet on the pendulum. Prophet has a flail, another Doomwheel in front of him, a Rattling gun to the left, some gutter blades in the bottom left of this picture, and then he's got that very beautiful model, which is his Tyrant riding a dragon, which is something you only see in this tournament, and the Tyrant has a Doomblade. So just, that is so nasty. There's nothing on my list that can handle that, I don't think. So I'm ambushing with 2 units of 20 wild horns of throwing weapons, full command, and the blooded horn totem, and I'm ambushing with a giant. Here I have a centaur chieftain with the impaler on the top right. There's a razor tusk. Here behind the hill, I've got a unit of 10 wild horns. I really didn't see a use for him, and so I thought I would just put him here to keep him safe for a little bit, and then rush and get my opponent's deployment zone later on in the game. No real plan for him. I've got a Gortak number 1, razor tusk. Then behind that, on the chariot base with that big green rock, is my general on a razor tusk chariot. Next to that, you can hardly see him, but there's Gortak number 2. Next to that's 5 gargoyles. Next to that is Gortak number 3. Behind all that is my battle standard bearer. That's a beast chieftain riding a rock. And I just freaking love that model. Just fantastic. Then I've got my 3rd razor tusk. It's being proxied by that bull centaur, whatever that. Bull Taurus, I mean. I lost my model sometime in the last couple weeks, so I had to proxy it. And then I've got a Jabberwock. So we go to Vanguard. I think his Gutter Blades can Vanguard, and he doesn't move him much. If anything, I think he moves him back. My Centaur Chieftain advances. I figure he's vulnerable to shooting, but then again, I've got so many things on the table to shoot that if he's shooting at this guy, he's not shooting at a Gortak. So I have the +1, and I win the roll to go first. So overall, it looks like this. If you look at the right-hand side, setting a razor tusk after his catapult. There in the middle, that's just being treated like a swamp, by the way. I think in hindsight, I've made just a number of mistakes this game. One mistake is I put the razor tusk on the left way too close to his Doomwheel. I didn't mind his Doomwheel coming this way, but I didn't want him to get a free charge on that razor tusk. And I did it in a way that if he hits the corner of the razor tusk and kills it, he could overrun and hit the corner of the Jabberwock, which is just dumb. In hindsight, I think I just needed a better approach there. In the middle left, my unit of gargoyles flew up very aggressively. I'm basically saying, look, I'm going to charge that cannon unless you dedicate something to taking me out. And if he puts a Doomwheel into them, he will win, but I'll be able to charge it with a Gortak, countercharge it, and overall, I'm okay with that. Alright, so nothing of significance happened in the magic phase and shooting. My Impaler shot at the Doomwheel, my Chieftain shot the Doomwheel and missed. So we go to Vermin Swarm, turn 1. Overall, it looks like this. Here on the left, yeah, he didn't get the charge of this guy, thank goodness, because again, he could have just hit him, overrun, then hit my Jabberwock, but he's an inch short, but who cares? He just shoots and kills him. Yep, like that. During the magic phase, he puts a couple wounds in the Gortak using the 5d6 strength 1, and then this Doomwheel shoots at the Gortak. So if he rolls a 1, he'll be strength 2, and I'm not concerned about it. If he rolls a 2, he'll be strength 4. I'm not concerned about it. If he rolls a 6, he misfires. But if he rolls a 3, 4, or 5, he'll be high enough strength that he can get some wounds through, and every wound he does is D3 wounds. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Just, ugh. So this Gortak bites the dust. We go to Beast Herd's turn 2. We're going to get in the action really fast now because I decide I want that Doomwheel dead. And there's several routes I could have gone here. I'm not sure I'm happy with what I decided to do, but it wasn't completely without merit. Basically, I charge it with my Rock, my Beast Lord, and a Gortak. All 3 units do impact hits. I'm going to kill it before it can swing, and then I'll have to overrun with my BSB and the Gortak. The BSB is certainly going to be easily charged by the Storm Vermin with the Assassin, which isn't necessarily the end of the world. If you look in the top right, my Wild Horns come on, and I put them with the cannon. I had a Razor Tusk there as well. The way it is now is before he could target the Razor Tusk and keep that Catapult alive, and I'd have nothing near it to do anything the rest of the game. With the Wild Horns there, at least I can guarantee killing the thing. Also, they can shoot it. If I get lucky and do 4 wounds, I won't have to charge it my turn. He won't be able to shoot his next turn. If you look at the top middle, come to the left, my Beast Giant comes on the board. My Gargoyles charge his Lightning Cannon, and otherwise my guys retreat somewhat to form a line. Before he killed my Gortak, he put a spell on this Razor Tusk that he could not use Inspiring Presence. He killed the Gortak. This guy failed his panic and ran, and then he failed to rally, so he is almost off the board. There's that. There's the Beast Giant coming on. What a thorn in your side. That guy is great. And there's the redundancy. Yeah. So in hindsight, I think I could have just taken my General there. It's somewhat of a risk because, again, he does D3 wounds. So if he gets enough hits on me, strength 6 to my toughness 5, he could get a couple wounds through. If I don't save him my regen, he could kill my General. I didn't want to take that chance. But the nice thing about the General is when I'm done, I could have just reformed. It would have been a really long charge for his Storm Vermin to make it to my General. As it is now, my Gortak and my Rock are going to have to overrun. Nothing else to shoot at for my Chieftain, so he puts the Impaler through the Storm Vermin, kills a handful of them. Yeah, shooting here takes, I think, 3 wounds off a 4-wound Catapult, so it helps, but whatever. And the Gargoyles kill the cannon, so that thing's off the table, which is nice. They reform so they can charge the Rattling gun. And after combat, yeah, obliterate the Doomwheel, overrun where we have to, reform where we don't. So now he's going to get a flank charge into my Rock, which looks devastating, but I am going to be stubborn, Leadership 9, rerollable. I'm going to issue a challenge. So he can refuse the challenge, in which case he gets just a ton of attacks. But I think he's strength 4 versus my toughness 6. So it's going to be, he's got a hit, he's got a wound, which is going to be real tough, and then I've got a 4-up armor save. So I'm skeptical he can kill me, and I'm just going to get countercharge. Conversely, he can accept with his Assassin, who's got the Potion of Strength, so he'll be strength 6 for 1 round. He'll go 3 attacks, hitting on 2, so let's do 3 wounds, and then he'll wound on a 4-up. He does D3 wounds each, but that gets cut in half, rounded up, because I'm a rock. I don't think his Assassin could kill me either. So I think if he charges me, he's just going to get stuck. The problem is my Gortak overran a little too much, so he's not going to be able to countercharge anytime soon. My General can, though. All right, we go to Vermin Swarm turn 2. He does take the charge on my rock. I don't really blame him. He's being pretty conservative, his General, on his Tyrant on the Dragon. That thing is so tough. If I were him, I probably would just fly it up right in front of my General and say, charge me. Do your worst. I don't think I would kill it. I don't think there's anything I could do. Yeah, so there's that. This damn Doomwheel over here. 18-inch. I just have to be the closest thing within 18 inches, and he auto-hits. It's such... Yeah. So he just needs to roll a 3, 4, or 5, and he rolls a 3, 4, or 5, does plenty to kill the Jabberwock. Somehow, someway, he does 2 wounds to the other Gortak, which is not great. And, I'm going back 1. So now I'm thinking I really should have charged the Jabberwock into this guy, because why not? If I fly away, all he has to do is just go somewhere near me, and make sure his other units are outside of that distance. And then he gets to just shoot at me for free. And, oh yeah, they auto-hit. So in hindsight, I think I just should have charged the thing, even though it was a 50-50 venture. All right, we go to Beast Turds turn 3. So obviously, if you look at the top middle, his assassin and I get into a challenge. He does a couple wounds, 2, maybe 3 wounds to my guy. And amazingly, I don't kill his assassin. That's with all those high strength attacks and Thunderstomp, I don't kill his assassin. So Wildhorns charge a catapult on the top right. He had turned his Plague Monk bunker. He had taken his Magister and his BSB out, put him in the large Plague Monk unit, turned his other Plague Monk unit around and put it right in my giant's face. So I said, screw it, I charged them. Yeah, there's that. During the magic phase, I put the black wing totem on this guy, which means he gets to swing first. And I did it just to pull die. I threw 1 die at it, and so I'm like, are you willing to throw dice at that when there are other more important things? My opponent was like, no, I'm not willing to. So he let it go off. So my giant gets to swing first, which is kind of nice. I think in his phase, he shot at my gargoyles, killed 2 of them. I passed my panic amazingly, and then I charge him mono e mono. I really just need to win. Either kill him or win this round of combat. Charging down a hill helps. And after combat, it looks like this. So we get the challenge. This time his assassin is only strength 4. I'm toughness 6. He can't get past my toughness. I've got a 3-up armor save and a -1 to hit, which all helps. And now, can his strength 4 guys do enough attacks to wear this guy down? Meanwhile, I'm going to be countercharging. The giant rolls a yell and ball. It was great. So I go first. Yell and ball. You can't attack. So I win combat by 2, and he fails it and runs right off the board. I thought was great. Meanwhile, over here, we're kind of in a big pillow fight with my gargoyle and his rattling gun, and I win because of a charge and down a hill, and he sticks, which was a shame. We go to Vermin Swarm turn 3. He finally moves his Plague Monks, he moves it up where you can see it. In some ways, it's not necessarily good, because if I charge everything into his Storm Vermin and beat them, I can overrun, get out of his line of sight, and there's not a whole lot he can do. Regardless, he does that. And then, of course, then during the magic phase, he gets the 5d6 strength 1 hits, and it goes through, and he rolls 4 6s and kills the Gortak. He is just, yeah. His gutter blades shoot at my giant. They do 4 wounds. He only has 2 wounds left. And these guys with all those attacks can only sneak 1 wound through. Again, a -1 to hit, and I've got a 3-up armor save, and I'm toughness 6. So Beast Turds turn 4. I throw everything I can at the Storm Vermin unit. Luckily, his Doomwheel, amazingly, didn't hit anything this turn, and so my Razor Tusk is alive and is able to redirect his Plague Monk unit. It's actually not even necessary as long as I win that combat at the top. Win it and make sure he's under 2 ranks so that he won't be steadfast, because I think he'll just be on auto break at that point. In hindsight, I don't like that I put the giant in there, because I don't think was necessary. I don't have to kill that many, and I think I'll be fine. And the worst he could do right now is he could put his general into the flank of my general, which wouldn't be wonderful, but that's the worst he could do. And all my giant's going to do is cause me an ulcer, and actually he does, because we go to the fighting, and my stuff, I'm just tearing stuff up. And so I do everything through initiative 3, and then lastly I do my giant in initiative 3, and he yells and balls. Combat's over. My opponent only loses by 2. It was so frustrating. So frustrating. I'll tell you what happens in just a minute. This unit comes on, shoots at the gutter blades. I don't think they do anything to him. After combat, despite the yell and ball, instead of being auto break, only lose by 2, we still break the unit, and I pursue with everything to run him down. And a very, very aggressive decision I made was to choose the flight of pursuit away from my Gortak, so that it would take my general and my BSB where you see them now. And then the positioning was really wonky. We had a whole 5 or 6 people around the table telling us how it would have to work or whatever. But because it took us at an angle, basically where the giant is, and then everything else ended up where you see it now. This was kind of a risky move, but I'm thinking my general in a challenge with his pendulum. If he doesn't do that, I think he's just going to be really screwed. I think I survived that, and I think ultimately I win it. The one question I have is everybody I play against, well, the last 2 games I played against it, says that the pendulum, if they make an armor save against you, you take a toxic hit for every one. And I want to say it's a high strength toxic hit. I was looking at the rules today. I can't see where that is. So if somebody could help me find that, I'd appreciate it because I'd like to understand how that works. That's the only thing I'm concerned about because I do a lot of strength 5 attacks. If he's got a good armor save, then there's a real good chance I'm going to be doing wounds on myself. Going than that, I'm not worried about it. The BSB only has, I think, 1 wound remaining, but there's so few attacks coming at him that I'm willing to take that risk. He's going to be frenzied with hatred, but he's got to roll a 6 to wound, and then I have a 4-up armor. I think I should be okay. I'm going to win this, I think, by a lot. My opponent's going to be steadfast, and then the next rounds of combat, it'll get a little more dicey. We'll see. If my general gets lucky and by some miracle kills the pendulum, then at least then he won't be stubborn and he'll have to try to remain steadfast. All right, all that said. So go to Vermin Swarm, turn 2. Not a whole lot he can do. He charges his general to the flank of my Razor Tusk. Moves the Doomwheel up. The Doomwheel was so far away that if he just didn't roll too high, he would be closer to his own units than mine. But damn it all, he rolled exactly what he needed and got right up next to my general. So now he can shoot into combat. So whereas before I think my general can handle that pendulum in combat, now I'm like, it depends. I mean, how many wounds is my general going to have on him? The 2 remaining gutter blades kill my giant. Of course they do. They only had 2 shots. Of course they kill him. And then after combat, yeah, so the damn Doomwheel goes up there, does 4 wounds on my general. I'm 1 wound left. I do a bunch of wounds to the pendulum, 3 or 4, I think, maybe 5. And he does 1 wound to me, kills my general. And then the 2 guys that were attacking my BSB, of course they hit, and they sneak past. They roll 6 to wound, and I fail my armor, and he kills my BSB. Son of a... Okay. So because I am who I am, I say, screw it, let's charge again. So I take the Gortak and my Beast Chieftain, I put them both in there. I'm like, let's go. Because my Beast Chieftain only has, I think there's only 1 wound left in the pendulum. My Beast Chieftain is coming in with 4 strength 8 attacks. He started off the game sober, but because he has looted booze, at the beginning of any turn, I can make him drunk, plus 1 strength in the charge. So 4 strength 8 attacks, probably rolling to hit. I think I kill the thing. Well, he accepts with a champion. So my Chieftain's safe, but meanwhile, my Gortak is going in against his Spellcaster and his BSB, so I split my attacks between them. At Initiative 3, he kills my Gortak, and I fail to kill both of his characters. In hindsight, I should have just put all of his attacks on either one of those things, or maybe even against the pendulum, but at this point in the game. Yeah. All right, so Wildhorns shoot and kill the Rattling gun. And I should take, when my giant was killed, it was probably his gutter blades and his Rattling gun, in fairness. So after combat, yeah, he kills my Gortak, my Centaur Chieftain breaks from combat, gets away. But what does it matter? Because he just has to send the Doomwheel somewhere near him, shoot him, and kill him. So the game ends like that. When all was said and done, out of 25 possible points, it's basically you split 20 points and there's up to 5 points each for extra stuff. And then at the time of this game, at the end of this game, we calculated up, I had 6 points. The next day, my opponent realized he played 1 minor rule wrong and felt really bad about it, offered me a 20-0. I said, there's no freaking way I'm taking a 20-0 for that. So we negotiated, and he gave me 2 extra points and took 2 points off of his score. And I felt that was very fair. So anyway, I ended up with 8 points, which it's not horrible. It was fine. I was just so mad at myself for playing so many things wrong. But I can tell you what I was really mad at, what I was really frustrated at were these 2 damn Doomwheels. I, at the moment, hate these things. I think they're such bullshit. This thing, the one that he deployed on my left, on turn 1, went up and killed a Razorgore. Again, he just has to be 18 inches from me. That's it. Just make sure I'm closest to him within 18 inches. Turn 1 kills a Razorgore. Till 2 kills a Jabberwock. Turn 3, miraculously, he rolls so low he doesn't hit anything. Turn 4, he doesn't kill my general, but he pretty much kills my general because I have 5 wounds. He takes me down to 1 wound remaining right as I got into combat. So 634 4-point character plus a 200-point bonus. Turn 5, he kills a Centaur Chieftain. This thing killed 10 times its points. It killed 1/3 of my army for 170 points. For 170 freaking points, he killed 1/3 of my army. Yeah, that's... Ugh. The other one only survived till turn 2, and in that one turn, he killed 430 points. For a 170 freaking point unit, he killed 430 points. So, the mistake was mine. I have to make sure that my valuable units are not, in no possible way, can be the closest thing to these things. I've got to put cheap units in front. So now I know, lesson learned. So, in fairness, it may not be the Doomwheel. It may be that I played against the Doomwheel incorrectly. Still, that's bullcrap. It's bullcrap. They're so freaking... Strength 6, Toughness 6, immune to psychology. It's you can't send a light unit in to do anything against it. Freaking... Yeah. So lots of things I should have done differently. Number one, the Wild Horns hiding behind the hill, I just didn't know what to do with them. In hindsight, I should have put them where the blue rectangle is on the left-hand side. I should have made sure that unit was the closest thing to the Doomwheel, just marched it straight at it, and made sure I had a couple units behind it that could charge the Doomwheel, whether he charges them or not. That just is like, okay, now I get it. If you have a cheap unit, that's what you do with it. On the right-hand side, I should have used a Razor Tusk for the same purpose. Make sure it was the closest thing to that Doomwheel, and then prepare to countercharge with something else. The Wild Horns that entered on the far top right, I had a Razor Tusk there ready and willing to charge with Catapult. I should have brought them on the top middle where that blue box is to threaten the flank of a Storm Vermin. That would have caused my opponent to make a choice. Do you face the Wild Horns or do you face the Giant? But one of either my Wild Horns or my Giant would be able to charge either the flank or the rear of the Storm Vermin unit, and that would have been a huge deal. It would have changed a lot of things. So, and then of course, when I beat the Storm Vermin and the angle that took me into the flank of his big unit, that could work, but my BSB was down to 1 wound. I think the smarter thing to do was just to choose the BSB as the unit that was going to determine the direction of flight, pursue everything towards his gutter blades, his gutter blades. So his general would have lacked line of sight. His other unit would have been out of position. I could have just scattered and made sure I had at least a draw for this game. But I didn't. I got too aggressive with it and it ended up costing me the win. And that was very frustrating to me because I know that about myself. I know that I err on the side of being aggressive, and I'm trying to stop, and I didn't. Anyway, thank you so much for watching the video. I truly hope you enjoyed it. As you know, YouTube has a variety of functions you can use to interact with videos such as this. You can like or comment on the video, you can favorite it, you can share it, and of course you can subscribe to the channel. And I encourage you to do any or all of those things as a way of interacting between viewer and producer. As always, I appreciate your patronage on the channel and wish you all the best.